promise you golden demons, this is Nurse Hatchet. You are listening to the Wolf Pack.
The genre of horror is a great expanse. We want to explore it. We've spent years building our credibility, our reputation, interviewing people from all levels of horror, discussing visual and literary horror. This is our exploration. This is Splatter Horror.
Storm rage, let the water run high. Let it rain, oh, won't you let it rain? Baptized in a river of fire. The storm's here, I'm so high. Thunder's calling me, I'm going outside.
Wow, that's hot.
Yes, who?
That's an intro.
Yes, it is.
So, do you think it's time to crack each other's heads open and feast on the goo inside? Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Full Spectrum Horror. I am your host, Mr. Christopher Highland, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Mr. Eric Morse. Say hello, Eric.
Oh, I don't know if I can do that. You know, Mr. Highland, after all, you call me Orson Welles, don't you?
Yes, among other things.
Yes, I know. You've got a whole bunch of different things for. Alrighty, so yeah, this is King of Splatterpunk, Mr. William Pattison, and of course, you know, our host here is of course Mr. Christopher Highland, horror sex symbol, and also horror Jesus. And of course, you know, our silent co-host, Nurse Hatchet, is sitting here, and she's got
and she knows Silent Bob.
skeleton on her, on her lap. I don't know why. What's that? Oh, hello, patience. She says. So yeah, Mr. Highland, how's Gotham?
Oh, just fine. Just the right touch of cool.
Lucky you. Yeah, I'm fine over here in hell. You know, aka California. Fuck, man. You know, we've had so many.
And you still won't put your feet in ice water. Like I told you to.
Oh God.
No?
I'm you know, we've had so many spare the air days, it's horrible. And smoke and everything, you know, oh, just fun. But, you know, what are you gonna do? You know, we're surviving. All right, Mr. Highland.
So, as
I know you're all excited about our guest tonight.
Yes, I am.
And I know Mary, well, Nurse Hatchet is excited.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, she's clapping her hands and now she's making the skeleton clap its hands. Oh boy. So introduce our guest, Mr.
Yes,
Highland.
so as I was saying, our guest for tonight is someone you know and love. He's worked on films that we know and love, such as most notably The Hidden, Nightmare on Elm Street for the Dream Master, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce to you into the show Mr. Mick Strawn.
Hello, guys. How you doing? Nurse Hatchet.
Pretty good.
How you doing?
She's all clapping her hands again.
Are you sure that she isn't bolted down somewhere, or there isn't anything holding her in place that involves the key? Is there?
Nope.
No. Eric, is that the case?
So this is entirely voluntary, right?
Yes, this is entirely voluntary.
Okay.
Nurse Hatchet likes being this way. I don't know why.
Gotcha.
Yeah, she's a naughty nurse.
Okay.
Wow. There you go.
So, first things first. Why don't you explain to our listeners exactly who you are and what it is that you do and have done?
Oh, my name is Mick Strawn. I've worked in the business for a long time. I was the production designer in Nightmare on Elm Street 3. I was a production designer on The Hidden. I've designed special sequences for things like Mortal Kombat, and I built and designed a town for Critters 2. I did The Hidden. I designed Hercules. I designed effects for that blood shower scene in Blade.
Yes.
Oh yes.
That was all my work. I designed that. I made it work. Let's see what else. You remember the Scorpion's Lair from Mortal Kombat?
I think so.
I designed. That's the one that with all the bodies floating in the air with the bamboo and all.
No.
Remember that?
No. No.
No.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
Long
well,
time.
also Mr. Highland, I don't think he does games.
Oh, well, it was the movie, but anyway.
Oh yeah, I saw the movie a long time ago, but it just didn't stick in my head.
It's not snapped into your brain.
No,
snapped into a lot of people's brains. I mean, all the way up to recently, I did a film up in Canada that I can't talk about the title because I haven't got one yet. But I did Vengeance, Friday the 13th film. I've done a lot. I've done a lot of things. I've been bad. Very bad.
Yeah, I know. I noticed. I mean, you even did Mantis. I love that. I love that show.
Mantis. Oh my gosh, Mantis. You know, every once in a while Mantis comes up, and I was really proud of the work that I did for the pilot movie of Mantis, and then which I can't understand, like having an entirely black, almost an entirely black crew, and then having a pure black cast, and then and we did the Hour movie for it, and I thought it was really good, and then they took it up to Canada, to where the only black person left on a purely black show that was just, screamed for a black crew and a good black cast, and they just made only one person, Samantha Sloan, to be the single representative human in the whole thing. So and they did TV series up there. So
yeah, I kind of noticed that they retooled Mantis when they actually
made it look
went from pilot.
And they kind of made it look like crap. We were so careful, and we had like just these cool looks and these earth tone but copper and metallic feels to it, and this awesome, the lights that were over the cars that were in his lair and stuff, and all of that kind of went away as soon as they made it in Canada, in which case it started to look like a bunch of Canadians did it,
Yep, I know how them you betcha.
damn Canucks.
Yeah, I know they're them Canucks.
I just recently did another show up in Canada, and I would make fun of them all the time, and they go, they would say things like, we don't talk like you say you do, eh? And I go, yeah, actually you do, eh? They go, no, we don't, eh? Yeah, you do, eh?
I love it.
So
I love it.
fiction
And what's this all about?
Yeah, what's this? What are you people all about and talking with the eh?
Oh, but do their heads flip around like the depiction in South Park?
Yeah, exactly. And I go, wow, you're not that far. I'm not kidding something. I'm not kidding. I know that this is a shock, but it's almost like it's an entirely different country up there.
Yeah.
Almost. I mean, almost. But Mantis, I was so sorry to see them because we tried so hard to make that thing look great and to give it a good feel and all the rest of this and it just and then it just get Canadized. That's
Oh yeah.
yeah. That's a new name for vanilla pudding, eh?
Yeah. I don't know. Did they do Freddy's Nightmares in Canada?
No. No, what? That was a bad thing that we did down here. You know,
Oh, okay.
not all funky crap is done in Canada. We can do our own made in the USA funky crap too. You know.
Of course.
Oh, I know. Oh, I know.
Well, we had no money and no time for that. You know, we did like 320 sets in 8 months. I mean, it was such a blithering snowstorm of shit that I remember around Christmas, I think it was Thanksgiving, and we were like pretty close to like almost on our last show, and you can imagine I was designing most of the effects and all of the sets, and it was like 320 sets alone plus all the effects, and the thing is they would do they would shoot through 2 of the 4 sets every night on a stage that was only big enough to have 4 sets on it, so that every night we had to change at least 2 sets over. And then we'd flip to the other side of the stage and change 2 sets over. And they would shoot during the day, and we would change them at night. And then they would come back, and they would shoot those during the day, and we'd go back and forth and back and forth. And, oh, my God, I remember actually literally getting lost inside of a grocery store. Right around Thanksgiving. I was lost in a grocery store. My dad literally was there at our house, for Thanksgiving, and found me walking, down the bread aisle, looking at loaves of bread, going, "Is this milk?" And go to another loaf of bread and go, "Is this milk?" Which is, if you're going to identify everything in the store that way in order to find milk,
yeah, you're pretty fucked up.
You're tired. You're tired. You're not like surface level tired. You're fucking exhausted. Not just exhausted. Fucking exhausted. Right? That's almost motherfucking exhausted. Fucking exhausted.
Well, at least you guys didn't have to spend a lot of time working with Robert Englund. From what I heard, he was really a hard one to work with because he was very fidgety in the makeup chair and stuff.
Oh, you mean the amount of time that he had to spend on the makeup chair? We used to talk to him all the time.
He used to sit there and talk, and he want to move and shit.
That guy could talk, and I mean, look, he's a dear friend of mine. I talk to him all the time, and I introduced him to his wife. But Robert was born talking. Hasn't stopped yet. It's like if you ask yourself, could I recognize Robert if he didn't talk? And it's a moot question because this has never happened, and nobody's seen him not talking at any given time.
Yeah, I've heard that.
He is, and he's really smart too, though. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Oh
Robert
yeah, the man's incredibly talented. I've seen some of his paintings too.
Oh my God, he's really. And the thing is he's the guy that they're having trouble replacing him because they actually went out and got somebody that is a really good actor. And a seasoned actor that had already has his own career, and he brought to the role so much that in less than like, between 7 and 15 minutes of film, he so indelibly put a stamp on it that it's almost impossible to replace him.
Oh yeah. Though I did hear a rumor in regards to Freddy's Nightmares that on a couple of shows, because Robert got sick, you guys had to replace him in the
that could have been on the second season of it. It was never.
Yeah, it was the second season.
Yeah, it was never the first season. I mean, first season, I couldn't do 2 seasons of that show. I just was like, God, I only did one because if you hit yourself with a hammer, how often do you like just grab the hammer back up and put your thumb in exactly the same place and go, well, let's try that again?
Yeah, well, from what I recall, second season was very interesting. The thing is that the guy that they got to replace him was a lot younger, and he was a Canadian actor, and he was the one that played Gabriel in Supernatural.
See, it's all about the damn Canadians, isn't it? I mean, it's an infestation. I'm not kidding. The next show I go on to, I'm going to spray for Canadians. Right at the beginning, I'm just going to spray for Canadians. And
well, they do a lot of they do a lot of television in Canada now. Unfortunately, they're not doing a lot of television in Canada right now because it's so hard to get into Canada to do any productions right now.
Well, yeah, I would literally just returned from making a film in Canada 7 days ago.
Yeah,
7 days ago, but I was pretty much alone up there.
and what was it, like 15 days quarantine?
No, the quarantine went out on August 8th, and I snuck up there on the 9th.
Oh, okay. So they're not doing the quarantine anymore.
Not anymore, no.
Oh, well, that'll be good.
Yeah,
because I know a couple of young female filmmakers who have been stuck at home in Canada and they can't get to the United States to do conventions and stuff.
Oh, well, I'm pretty sure that's. I don't know what the Canadian thing is coming back across the border, but I think the border is open now. So.
Yeah. You know who I'm talking about, right, Mr. Highland?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, Mantis was a lot of fun. I thought it should have. I thought that we did the original show really, really well. I think that they hacked the rest of the season, but other than that, yeah.
Yeah, and I see that you worked on all the original Hercules films that they did for Hercules: The Legendary Journeys, the original ones.
And I set up all the original, the look of it, how it was going to look through the season and stuff, through the rest of the TV series. Yeah, that was we kind of like went down to a very native area that has it has different ways of doing things, and kind of built a sort of Art Deco and Art Nouveau way design aesthetic using like more natural materials, and kind of gave it an interesting look.
Oh yeah. I mean, I actually love those films better than the actual television series itself.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I thought we
And
tried really
honestly,
hard.
I think Kevin Sorbo actually was better in those than later on in the series.
Well, that's because he was beat down. He was constantly being beat with those every different type of aluminum sword you can imagine. As he would say, the number one thing that he wanted to teach the Maori stuntmen was how to pull their punches and how to stop hitting him with frickin' aluminum swords. they just beat that son of a gun to pieces, man. You know, I'm like, dude, I'm giving you standard stuff here, and you know, I'm not giving you any edges. And he's going, dude, it's not the edges. They're it's like getting clubbed. It's like going out and getting clubbed 6 or 7 times a day. And I mean, he had bruises all over him. Luckily, I mean, he had a great tan, but then eventually we just replaced that with fake tan and makeup because we were just trying to cover up all the bruises.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, there you go. That's the way it goes, you know.
Oh yeah, because Kevin talks about that. He talks about how much he got beat up in those original films.
Yeah, because you know, I mean, basically, now we went in there and we created a monstrously big production unit in order to do Hercules and Xena and the TV movies and all the rest of that. I mean, we trained a good chunk of the crew that then went on to do all that new line Tolkien stuff.
Oh yeah,
Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Rings stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like literally that whole crew. My art director, that's the guy right underneath me as the production designer, became the production designer on Lord of the Rings.
Huh. So
Yeah.
so basically the early Weta works.
Yeah, I got to tell you a story about Weta. Is we were I had gone down to Wellington, and that's where the Weta workshops were. And Peter Jackson and I and Richard Taylor, who's the head of Weta, were having discussions about why we were having troubles matching. Now, this is the very early days of CGI, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we were having trouble matching our animated CGI stuff to the K&B built rubber monsters, right? All the rubber works were done by K&B and of the highest quality. And the thing is we were having trouble matching any of that stuff to with the CGI from Weta, and it was just a huge mismatch. And of course, both of them are accusing each other, of not being professional or not being able to, And finally, I figured out what it was that Weta was using, Weta was pulling an awful lot of it, and that's what I was down there for, was talking to Peter Jackson and Richard Taylor. We were having lunch, watching the planes land, and you would go up to this to the edge of this huge cove, which is Wellington is in a cove, and you could watch the airliners just barely clip this cove, the edge of where we were eating lunch, and you could watch them land from up above. And they were just like, it's like watching a plane just like almost free fall, because all Wellington is just on this little cove. It's like imagine the cove around beaches down in Santa Monica, right, or further down, like around Redondo Beach. But imagine the size of those being, up about 1,500 to 2,000 feet, and then the whole town is down below you in what would have been the beach, right? And so it's just the planes they're falling out of there. but what we discovered, or I kind of like came up with it. I said, you're hiring people from animation, and I think that what's happening is that as you animate these, you got the guys from Weta are using animators that are using what's called squash and stretch. In other words, an animator, especially a cartoon animator or an animator from comic books, the way that they make their stuff look interesting is they squash things or they stretch things, right? And because of that, you're getting it's hard to match the rubber of real life to that Weta animations.
Oh yeah.
So what we finally did was we made an agreement that we were going to stop doing the squash and stretch and try and set everything into the same realistic parameters, right? And it made a huge difference. So chalk that one up for Mick.
Cool. Oh, I got a question from Nurse Hatchet. She wanted to talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
Yes.
She wanted to know how it was working with RA.
Oh, RA was a sweetheart. He's still a sweetheart. But we were working. I just recently saw RA at a convention, and I hadn't seen RA in 40 years. And all of a sudden, I walk. It was actually just maybe about 6 months ago. I walk in, and all of a sudden, I hear this big booming voice, "Mick Strawn, I haven't seen you for 40 fucking years. How the hell are ya?" From across the room. And
oh my
RA
fucking god!
And here's this enormous, ex-wrestler barreling down the aisle toward me.
Yep, with that big old long white beard.
Yeah, with that big beard. So we had, competing beards, and his is always longer. But yeah, I love RA. Did you know that on that show that we built the house, we built the gas station, we built the truck, we built
the truck.
We even built the swamp, and we built the little shed in back, where he plays with where the other face plays with his CNC toy.
Huh.
All of that stuff was built. I wanted a very specific look for it,
Yeah, I mean, I could imagine that you that it was a set deal, the swamp and that it had that, it had that really good set style.
Yeah, not just a set, a good set, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying is it looked like a set that was so good, a good swamp set, that it couldn't be in real life. Because it was too good.
Well, it fooled me. It fooled me.
We actually used we had moss imported from Texas, that special Spanish-looking moss that to get a bit just that authentic Texas air about it, you know. And the
Oh
moth,
yeah.
the moth literally came out of the bag, you know, with little tiny guns going woo woo woo, woo, bam 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 bam. That's how authentic it was.
Yeah, well that was pretty cool. I mean, you know, I loved the production work on that film. It was really cool.
Thank you very much. I thought that we did a pretty good job.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you guys did better than the next two installments. Let's put it that way.
Well, you got to remember that I was also the one that did Nightmare on Elm Street 3. So I was I was
on
IMDb
it says the 4th.
I did the 3rd and the 4th.
Oh, okay. Well, not looking for that.
Awesome, because actually,
Oh, now I see it. Yeah. Okay.
Mr. Highland has some
Hey,
definite
whoa!
questions.
We'll get to that later. We'll get to
Oh,
that later.
come on.
Not now.
Did you notice how the 3rd and the 4th had a very specific look between them? They
Yes.
looked very similar to each other. Well, that was
yeah.
because that was my production design aesthetic. And I would like to say, in general, I think that those two are the best looking out of the whole group, all of them.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Yeah, they're really stylized.
Yeah, very stylized, very. You know, it's funny. It's hard to tell what your look is. I mean, independently. But I remember actually when I was on Hercules, I had that art director that I talked about that took over, that went on to work with Peter Jackson. One day he goes, yeah, you know, everybody's got a specific look, and I go, yeah, I know. He says, you know what yours is, don't you? And I was like, He goes, yeah, no, you're and he drew this this line that kind of looked like a treble clef, right? He says, this is you. And he drew this line that looked kind of like a treble clef. And then he just let it draw off like that. He goes, yeah, that's your design. And I swear to God, I couldn't think straight for 2 weeks after that. I was like,
oh my
like,
God.
You know, I mean, it was like being hyper aware of everything. Going, well, I wonder if my stuff looks like me today. So yeah, that happens. It really does.
And you also worked on the Fat Boys music video, so it had your style to it.
It did. Those guys were hilarious. You know, we promoted a bunch of these little scooters, and we were all of us were kind of supposed to babysit those guys, because we had to have them around for like 14 hours to shoot that thing, and the thing is that they were just trouble. They were just mischief makers, you know, and so I had to hang out. I had to hang out with them so I went out to the parking lot, and we had a bunch of these little promo scooters, right? And so all of us are hanging around on a scooter, and we were like, you know, having little races behind, you know, between the aisles and stuff in the parking lot, and then there's a point where we're all kind of like have the noses of the bikes together, you know, in a circle, and there's this discussion going about, you know, who was badder, you know, and it goes, yeah, you know, it's because you know, Leatherface, he come after you and he got that big old chainsaw, you know, and that he's just gonna cut you to pieces. And then somebody goes, well, and then one the other Fat Boys was going, oh man, dude, you know, that's not it, because Jason comes after you and he's not even alive. And then the really short guy, absolutely round guy that had the gold teeth, he was being really quiet, and finally he goes, man, the thing is this, man. I'm not kidding. It has to be Freddie, because Freddie gonna get you in your dreams, and you've got to sleep sometimes. So Freddie gonna get you in your dreams, and that was the end of the argument. He seemed so utterly committed to it.
Yeah, well, to me, it's the scary Christmas sweater he wears.
Yeah, that's yeah. Without that sweater, he wouldn't be anything, right?
Oh yeah, that sweater is just it. I mean, Mr. Highlands wanted one of those.
No.
Yes, you do.
No.
And a fedora. I could see Mr. Highland wearing a fedora and that and running around with the Christmas sweater on.
Nah.
So do me a favor, guys. Get to your last couple of questions here. How about that?
Okay.
Oh,
Go on, Mr. Highland.
Well, I was gonna ask you how you got started on this, but since you put it that way, let's scroll up. What was it like to work on the movie The Hidden?
The Hidden was great. Jack Shoulder. I mean, I loved The Hidden as a script, and some of the sequences that the zoned out stripper on the rooftop, Claudia Christensen. I love that whole sequence. From the car crash down below. We did all these. It's really funny is we actually in that exact building, we rented that whole building, and what we did is we turned it into a little factory so that we could make foam mannequins, and then we put it in the script that was a mannequin factory, so that we could just use everything that we built as set dressing for the factory itself, and so literally we crashed into that building, and then upstairs we had built a whole rim of that building, the same decorations and stuff. We built it up high, up about 8 feet, so that we could use it for actually doing all the stunt work on, so that we could look down the same street as the edge of the building itself. And then we went through actual neon, which was everybody was afraid that we were going to you couldn't have a stunt person fall 6 stories and land on all the pieces of neon. So we literally sewed the neon into little tiny bags and then put score marks so we knew exactly where it was going to break. And then if you notice, none of the neon actually falls with her when she falls. It all breaks away, and it's all tethered so that it all falls back up against the building and just hung there.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's the kind of stuff you got to think of when you're doing what I do.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And
okay,
then,
Mr. Highland, how about that question?
Oh, well, I was going to let you handle the Elm Street
Okay,
stuff.
yeah, because poor Mr. Highland, he has a trauma.
Trauma?
Yeah, he has a trauma from Nightmare on Elm Street 4. Poor Mr. Highland for 5 years could not eat meatball pizza.
It's sausage, and it's longer than that.
Okay.
Well, I can understand that. That's you got to stay away from small pizza restaurants that are named after famous horror directors.
Oh
like
yeah.
the Crave In.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I can't be the only one that's been grossed out by that scene.
Oh, I was grossed out by it, but the thing is that right after I watched the movie, we went to pizza. Went and had pizza.
Oh yeah,
Well-
did you have sausage pizza too?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, I can't imagine
Oh,
any.
and
I can't
mushroom.
imagine. I can't imagine any the people screening these films. You know, the studio people and the MPAA. I mean, I can't imagine them eating steak sandwiches and drinking draft beer while they're watching, and then this gross scene comes up, and then they just spit out whatever they're drinking.
Yeah, but I could just imagine how much Robert loved that scene, because I could just imagine he was just enjoying that one.
Yeah, he did a really good job there of that with that. You know, did you know that the one that you see that he spears, when he spears it, that's actually a fake human-sized pizza that Danny's kind of wearing over his head, right? But but when he pulls the hand back with the glove, that was John Beekler, who died just recently, a couple of years ago, I think. John Beekler actually had a small animatronic Danny head that was controlled by wires that were on the other side of the Freddy knife blade. So that was literally there was little tiny control cables on that glove leading back down to a control box.
Okay, now here's my ultimate question. The final shot where Freddy eats it, is it a real meatball?
Yes.
Good.
because the animatronic Danny, by that point, that's a cutaway at the last. Yeah, that's a real meat. That's a real spicy meatball.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I could just imagine poor Robert. They make him do that about 15 times, and he has to eat 15 meatballs.
Oh.
Yeah, well, yeah, there you go. That's hey.
Yeah,
listen,
by the end of that, he must have been.
You gotta suffer. You gotta suffer for your craft.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mr. Highland has been talking to me for the entire month about, oh yeah, I gotta ask him about the meatball.
No.
Well, the thing is that you have to remember how many different scales you're talking about. You're talking about starting with a pizza that's kind of double scaled, that has all of them talking, right? And then you go down to the one that's just Danny, right? And that's probably about 8 feet wide. That pizza piece was about 8 feet wide, right? And Danny was actually there when they come down and they stab him in the head, right?
Yeah.
So that was a retractable Freddy blade. And then the next one that you see, that's the mechanical one. That's the mechanical glove that has a little mechanical Danny on it. That all the control lines are passing on the other side of the blade. And then you've got him actually eating actual sausage pizza there. So you have to understand how much work goes into. I mean, that's a big chunk of work, because every shot is another complete set of effects and lighting and the whole bit.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's just like the Chest of Souls. That thing was incredible.
Oh yeah, and there was a Chest of Souls that was 25 feet high, as well as ones that were smaller and ones that had the very last one, the very last Chest of Souls, where Freddy's back up against the screen, right? In Freddy Hell, or in Freddy Church. That one right there. That one right there was all hands on deck for controlling it, because of the little hands, right? We all grabbed a hand. Everybody grabbed a puppet hand. You know, I mean, we had like, I'm not kidding when I say we had like 13 or 14 people behind that screen with sticks operating little hands that were reaching up and tearing Freddy apart.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I also heard that there was like a little piece of detail that got lost in it, where there was actually a face coming out of Freddy's cheek.
Well, yeah. The thing is that I mean, at the same time, Freddy was getting poked in the neck because one of the wires poked through the head. One of the control wires, and was just poking Robert in the side of the neck. And he's such a trooper, he just worked right through it.
No, understood. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's one of my favorites. Is part 3 and part 4 are my favorites.
Yeah, they're the ones that I love. And I was there.
Yeah, and I've watched so many documentaries on part 3 and part 4. So it's like, man, I studied that one.
Well, I don't show up on any of the documentaries. I was still working. I was still working in town up until about 5 or 6 years ago, and I wasn't even around when the famous one was made with what was it? Never Sleep Again, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't even around for that. So.
Yeah. Amusingly, I was just reminded that also the reason why in part 4 Freddy's got that heavy eyebrow, the brows.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Beekler thing. Beekler always has brows on his creations.
Well, I don't think that Beekler actually was doing Freddy's stuff. Beekler was working on which ones? Basically, Beekler did the pizza sequence. The thing is when we were doing that film, is we started in February and it was literally released on August the 18th. So the only way that we could do that was to take all the makeup effects and split them up with every possible effects crew. So we had one and sometimes 2 makeup effects crew per effect all the way through the film, so that we could actually get it all done. And then I coordinated all those. So it was quite a nightmare, I tell you.
Huh. Well, that's amusing because when I met him at the very first Days of the Dead, I go, oh my God, I loved Nightmare on Elm Street 4, and he goes, yeah, did you notice that Freddy had a brow?
It could be, you never
because
know.
Because every time it's like, even when he did Ghoulies, he did the brows.
Well, there you go. Hey guys, I've got to go. We're 56 minutes in, and I've got some other things to take care of. It's been a pleasure. It's been a lot of fun.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Alrighty.
Okay. Signing off. Bye.
Signing off.
Bye. Bye.
Alrighty, Mr. Highland, are you satisfied?
I would say so.
Cool. And I guess it's time for us to do our break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this time Mr. Highland's not having us do music.
No, because you know why.
Yeah, we're not going to mention their names, but yeah, we got slapped on the hand,
Yep.
and we don't like being slapped on the hand. Alrighty, so anyways, yeah, so here'll be our break, and when we come back, we got all our other goodies for you. All right.
The difficult thing about being a mass murderer isn't the murdering part. It's the mass part. It's the pace you've got to keep up, the sheer volume of murdering. Because the funny thing about killing, after the first time you've killed, the second time it's easy. The third time you start to get cocky, so you got to be careful. You got to stay humble or you make dumb mistakes. And by around the seventh time, you're likely to feel like you're in a bit of a rut. Want to get artistic with it, start cutting off the middle toe of each victim, so you'll be known as the middle toe murderer. But at that point, I don't know, I think that's showboating. You got to ask yourself, who am I doing this for? Am I doing it for myself or for the press? And round about the 20th murder, well, you're likely to be sick of the whole thing, Sometimes I don't even want to look at another corpse. I feel like if I even see a chainsaw, I'll scream. It's like what happened the other day. I had just finished ending a human life in a senseless act of violence when I run into this old friend of mine from high school, and he says, "Hey, what you been doing?" And I think to myself, what have I been doing? What am I doing with my life? Where is this leading? Am I going to be doing this at 50? Sometimes I think I really should go back to college.
Evening.
Good evening.
Hey.
Evening.
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 So, I guess you'll be wanting a room then.
Yeah, just for the night. I'm on my way to Biddeford.
Oh, Biddeford's a lovely, lovely town.
Yeah. Excuse me, I couldn't help but notice, but everyone here seems to be,
Mutilated?
Evening.
Evening.
Hey.
well, yeah.
Well, you're quite right. In fact, I myself am missing a leg.
I'm sorry, I guess I shouldn't have said anything.
Oh, no, it's quite all right. We're really used to it around here. Oh, I mean, after all, it's not that often you see so many horribly disfigured people in one room now, is it?
No, it isn't.
No, well, I bet you're curious as to how this strange turn of events came to be.
Actually, I am a bit curious.
I thought
Yes,
you were
I admit it,
curious.
I
I
am.
thought so. I can usually tell.
Well,
Well, I guess I was the first to run afoul of the great beast.
wow. Great beast.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I was the first victim of Skora, the gentle shark. But if you're really interested, you should be talking to the captain there.
Yes. Come over here, my boy. I'll buy you a drink and tell you my tale. What'll you have?
Scotch and soda.
Then rum it is, innkeeper. 2 glasses. I reached Woodstock on the 2nd day of the festival. Janice was in all her glory.
No, Captain. Your Skora story.
Oh, right, yes. I used to be the captain of my own cruise ship. You know, it was the kind of boat that Folks went for weddings, parties, that kind of thing. Well, on the night in question, it had been rented for a prom. Oh, the girls looked so lovely in their dresses. The boys, such fine little gentlemen in their tuxedos. Oh, they were all drinking and dancing and spiking the punch. I was dizzy with delight when suddenly my ship sank. We all went into the water, and then came Skura, picking us off, one by one, by one, until only I was left. And as he bore down on me, he paused, as if to say, "What can I do? I'm a shark. Gotta eat." And then he cut me in half. Cut me right in half. My wife measured me. I'm exactly half my former length. But as he swam away with my lower extremities dangling from his jaw, I swear to God he was crying.
Crying?
Yes, crying. Oh, to be sure, he's a brutal, killing machine, but he shows more remorse than I've ever seen in any human.
That's an amazing story.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone else with an amazing story?
Yes.
I think they were first. I'm sorry, I think they were first.
Jeffrey and I are marine biologists.
Yes, we came here to study plant life in the Bay Area.
That's right. One day we were out swimming when we came across Skura. But instead of attacking us, he beckoned us to follow him.
You know, sort of motioning with his head.
Yeah, like this.
So we followed Skura, and he led us to a beautiful undersea grotto. It was filled with his own art.
We felt that Skura had really opened up to us.
Yeah, then he tore into us.
Again and again. Then, when his belly was filled with our hot flesh, he suddenly stopped.
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember, Jeff? And filled with self-reproach, began to throw himself against the walls of the cave and left us alive.
Yeah, we'd be better off dead.
Better off dead.
But he just didn't have the heart to do it.
The teeth, but not the heart.
You know, I don't think that there's a man, woman, or child, and that includes the young Hundlebees here celebrating their honeymoon this weekend, who hasn't been touched, and horribly mutilated by Skura the gentle shark.
That's incredible. Tell me, have you people ever thought of hiring someone to kill the shark? A shark killer?
What? Have you completely missed the point, man?
Have you missed the point?
Jeez, did you miss the point? He can't help it. It's his nature.
He's a shark?
Yes, would you kill the birds for singing?
Huh?
Would you poison the fish for swimming?
Huh?
Would you shoot the children for laughing?
Would you?
Would you shoot children?
No, I guess not.
No.
I wasn't thinking.
No, I guess you weren't thinking. I guess thinking wasn't what you were up to at the moment. No. Well, I'll show you to your room then. Skura!
My God! Skura has eaten the innkeeper!
And how is Skura taking it?
Not very well.
Oh, God. Skura. Sing! Skura the gentle shark. Skura, he's a killer with a broken heart. Don't blame him, he blames himself. Don't hate him, he hates himself. Skura, the gentle shark. Skura.
Hello, I'm Charles Gaines. When I found out that XO Communications had customer service agents available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, well, naturally, I felt we should too.
Thank you for calling Megatelco. This is Balcazar, Prince of Misery and apprentice to evil. May I help you?
It's all about serving you better.
They can't. We do. Voice, data, and web for business. XO, not just talk.
Hello, my she devils and demons. This is Nurse Hatchet, she-wolf of the Wolf Pack.
They bake cookies by day, but really heat up the night. G-string grandmas next on Sick Sad World. Alrighty, so we are back, and that's our new segment, Sick Sad World.
Gee.
Yeah, nice, huh? Alright, so anyways, now it is time for Mr. Highland's favorite segment. The one that he bugs me about constantly.
No, not constantly.
Well, once a week. Once or twice a week, I should say.
It varies.
Yeah. But the thing is, I just don't want to have to go through all that hate mail just to find us fan mail. But yeah, this time, unfortunately, we found one. But this one's pretty good. Alrighty, so fan mail here. This is from Nick from San Diego. Dudes and Nurse Hatchet, you are awesome. My mom and I thought we'd seen every Abbott and Costello movie, but we'd never heard of The Time of Their Life. After we listened to your podcast, we searched for that film and found a copy on eBay. I have to say that is a kick-ass movie. My mom was actually crying while watching it because it reminded her of when she was young and watched those films with her mom. Now she and I have a wonderful new connection because we watched this film featuring the comedians we love so much for the first time for both of us together. Since the pandemic, we have lost a lot of family and lived in fear. My dad lost his life to it 6 months ago. This meant the world to both of us because we need some light in all this darkness. Keep doing what you're doing. All right, that was very nice. What do you think, Mr. Highland?
Thank you.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, I know. I mean, I've actually heard, from a few friends that they never heard of it either. And, it's a good film. I mean, it's one of the few times that Bud and Lou are not actually together in the film. Of course, as we said on the show, they were fighting.
Yeah, it's a shame that Laurel and Hardy didn't do a similar film.
Yeah.
Did they?
No, they didn't do anything with ghosts or anything like that. All right. Well, anyways, if you want to send us horror, some fan mail, send it to the Eric Morris Show at gmail.com. go ahead. Tell us. We love to hear. You guys praise us on it or ask us questions about films and that. Don't be shy. We love it. So, send us that fan mail. I know Mr. Highland will appreciate it because he goes a little bit nutsy cuckoo when he can't when he knows that there's no up to the point of the show we don't have any fan mail. He goes a little nutsy cuckoo on me. Okay. Alrighty, so now it's time for our next segment. Another favorite of Mr. Highland's because he spends the entire month delving through the internet looking for that weird, that strange, that horror news.
Yes. And I'm pleased this month at what I found because the last few months have been rather lackluster in this department. So, without further ado, I'll get the books, or should I say audiobooks. And this first one is a rather pleasant surprise. The novel Vertigo, which is the basis for the Hitchcock movie of the same name, will be an audiobook, and this will be released September 28th. So look for that then. Next is a audiobook that's already been released. The Birds by Frank Baker. This is not related to the movie of the same name, Hitchcock movie, I mean. Now, I read this book. It's actually pretty good. I actually prefer this to the short story that inspired the movie The Birds, Daphne du Maurier, and also to the movie as well. So, if you want a special treat, read or listen to this. Next, this is what I understand. It's this Blu-ray won't play in North America, so you'll need a region-free Blu-ray player like I have now. This is a film I've never heard of. It's called A Reflection of Fear. It stars Robert Shaw, Sally Kellerman, and this will be released October 29th. Now, this next item ties into last month's news. That Norwegian novel I mentioned. This box set is called All the Haunts Be Ours, a compendium of folk horror. Now, how does this tie into last month? Let me just scroll down. Lake of the Dead, a Norwegian film, which is an adaptation of the book. It says region free, in black and white, restored in 2K from the original negative, English subtitles. Now that's included in the box set. What else is in there? These are all obscure foreign films. Eyes of Fire from 1983. Lepturica from 1973. Witch Hammer from 1970. I'm not sure how to pronounce this. V. It's a Russian film, which I've reviewed on this show in the past. Tilbury, 1987. A Dreaming, 1988. Kadika, Australian. Leah, again, Australian. Alice's Birthday. Wow, there's a lot of films on this box set.
Nice.
Not sure how to pronounce this one. Oh, Chika, Polish film.
Cool.
Oh, films on this box set. Well, the one I mentioned was the Norwegian one, The Lake of the Dead. And that's a film I'm interested in seeing, and I'm sure you will be too. Okay, next is another box set called Cold War Creatures, 4 films from Sam Katzman. These films are from, as I understand it, the 50s. And the first one's called Creature with the Atom Brain. Next one's called The Werewolf. The third is The Zombies of Mara Tau. And the fourth is called The Giant Claw.
Awesome.
And last, but certainly not the least, is a Blu-ray edition of the late 80s film Retribution.
Oh, nice.
This is coming out October 26th. Oh, did I give the date for the last box set?
No.
Oh, sorry. Cold War Creatures comes out September 14th.
Cool.
And that's all I have.
Alrighty. Well, it's time for merchandise. And unfortunately, my first thing, I'm sorry to step on your toes, Mr. Highland, because you're the
Don't worry about it.
literary guy.
Okay.
And I'm usually the video guy. So we kind of switched around this time.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, you're gonna love this.
Oh?
Yeah, it's one that I guess you didn't find out about. Alrighty. We all know Edgar Allan Poe as a master of macabre, but now he's also a self-help guru. Poe for your problems. Uncommon advice from history's least likely self-help guru will be published in hardcover, ebook, and audiobook on September 7th via Running Press. Written by journalist Catherine Bob Magura, the 256-page darkly comedic self-help book will teach you how to say nevermore to your problems. The synopsis is below. Of all the writers anywhere, Poe might be the least likely person you'd ever turn to for advice. His life was a complete dumpster fire. He married his cousin, got fired from one job after another, constantly feuded with friends and rivals, and he was always broke. But that's also precisely the point. Though Poe failed again and again, he also persevered. Drawing deeply on his works in life, Catherine takes the familiar image of Poe in a new and surprising direction in this darkly inspired self-help book. Despite what you might think, Edgar Allan Poe is the perfect person to teach you to say never more problems and show you how to use all the terrible situations, tough breaks, bad luck, and even your darkest emotions in novel and creative ways to make a name for yourself and carve out your own unique, notorious place in the world. An inspiring tale for black sheep everywhere. Poe for your problems will teach you how to overcome life's biggest challenges, to succeed at work, love, and art, despite the odds and no matter your flaws. What do you think of that, Mr. Highland?
I like it.
Yeah, so I know you're probably going to go for a copy. Alrighty, prove you're not an outlander with fright rags, Children of the Corn shirts. 3 designs by Gary Pullen and Kyle Crawford are available for $28. The Malachati artwork also comes in hoodies. Funko.
That reminds me of my idea for a Children of the Cornflakes commercial.
Oh yeah, definitely Children of the Corn.
With the 2 main villains in there.
Nice. Oh, here we go, Mr. Highland. Funko has turned the Ouija planchette into a pop vinyl figure. Due in December, it's available exclusively at Books A Million. Pre-orders are up for $13.99. Inked Up Merch has released a Friday the 13th design by Chris Gaffalio that incorporates vintage print advertisements from throughout the franchise's history. It's available on black and tie-dye t-shirts for $20 each. I do have to admit, it is a very good design. It's Jason's hockey mask, and it's completely made out of advertisements. So definitely something people want to check out. Okay, Numbskull, and I got to tell you this. This is something Mr. Highland will want.
Oh?
Oh yeah. Numbskull has added Chucky, Gremlin, Stripe, and Hammer Films Dracula, Frankenstein, and Wolfman, and the Mummy to its Tubs line of PVC collectibles. Each cosplaying rubber duck stands approximately 3.5 tall and comes with a bathtub display box. They retail for $14.99 each. Yeah, I think Mr. Highland's going to get himself a bunch of rubber duckies.
Yeah,
because I mean, hell, they got Christopher Lee as Dracula, rubber ducky.
Yeah, I'll be playing the Jaws soundtrack while I'm at it.
Yeah, why not? Remember last month they did the Jaws ones.
Oh.
Numbskull put out the Jaws ones. Okay, Cavity Colors has released 2 American Psycho shirts designed by Dismay Design and Yannick Bouchard. T-shirts are $27 each, while Dismay's artwork also comes on long sleeve tees for $40. You'll have a hell of a time with Gutter Garb's Night of the Demon t-shirt designed by Sam Coyle. Scheduled to ship the week of September 26th. It's up for pre-order for $27. Oh, I know Mr. Highland's going to want to get one of these. Don't you love Night of the Demons?
Yeah.
Okay. And now is Mr. Highland's favorite segment.
What?
Scream Factory releases.
Nap time.
Okay. And the first one I know is one that Mr. Highland's going to want so that he can play on his Regency free Blu-ray player. Yeah. Collector's Edition Wes Craven's Deadly Friend. And it comes with an exclusive poster. The poster art is incredible. It's BB and he's transforming into the girl. And they did such a really good job on it. It's beautifully done. Let's see. 3.5 stars. A Breakfast Club version of Bride of Frankenstein. From director Wes Craven, Nightmare on Elm Street and Scream comes a terrifying tale of technology gone haywire. Lonely teen genius Paul, a specialist in brain research, has 2 friends, his remarkable robot and the beautiful girl next door. When tragedy strikes both of his friends, he desperately tries to save them by pushing technology beyond its mortal limits into a terrifying new realm. Like a modern-day Dr. Frankenstein, Paul discovers too late that he has created a rampaging monster. Deadly Friend is a witty ghoul story. Desperately teeters on the edge of spoof. That's from the New York Times. Yeah, and of course, it's an adaptation of the book Friend. So I know Mr. Highland really liked that book, if I recall. Okay. Let's see. What's the next one? Next one is Come True. Never heard of this one, but it came, it's out through Scream Factory. The movie elusive sense of menace lingers for days, weeks, possibly forever. Bill Berge from Vulture. Looking for an escape from her reoccurring nightmares, 18-year-old Sarah Dunn submits to a university sleep study, but soon realizes that she's become the conduit to a frightening new discovery. Dreams twist and nightmares become reality in this mind-altering new work of science fiction from writer-director Anthony Scott Burns. who did Our House. That haunts the space between awakeness and sleep. Extremely satisfying Los Angeles Times. Come true conjures horror so vivid and tactile that any time it feels like it might leap off the screen into our own imaginations or worse, our lives. Okay, and here's one that Mr. Highland's going to be wanting a copy of. Krampus, the collector's edition, and this is the naughty cut. And it comes with an exclusive poster, and the poster is magnificent. It is a really good Krampus poster. Yeah. For the first time ever, the original cut of Krampus, for those who are naughty, not nice. When this dysfunctional family clashes over the holidays, young Max is disillusioned and turns his back on Christmas. Little does he know this lack of festive spirit has unleashed the wrath of Krampus, a demonic force of ancient evil intent on punishing non-believers. All hell breaks loose as beloved holiday icons take on a monstrous life of their own, laying siege to the fractured family's home and forcing them to fight for each other if they hope to survive. Featuring an ensemble cast that includes Adam Scott, Tony Coletti, Allison Tolman, David Crocher. This is a wonderful, dark, subversive, must-see film. Krampus, the Naughty Cut, restores key dialogue and scenes that had been trimmed from the original theatrical release in order to appease the MPAA. Supervised by filmmaker Michael Dougherty, this is the definitive version of the holiday cult classic for the entire family to enjoy. I know Mr. Highland's going to want that because he's, aren't you subversive, Mr. Highland? You want the original edition, unedited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and besides, weren't you in that movie?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, you're not Krampus?
No, I'm not Krampus. Though I have a border that I suspect is Krampus. Alrighty, so now it is time, that another favorite of Mr. Highland, movie reviews.
Yes, I'm lucky to have anything at all.
Really?
Well, this, I'm not sure if I should go with both or just one. What I watched last night was a Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode of The Killer Shrews. Oh my God. There was just almost no budget on that. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've seen The Killer Shrews. Yeah, the one where they put shrew costumes on the dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that movie. That is great.
Yeah, I was only able to watch that on Mystery Science Theater 3000. So for those who haven't seen it, it involves two guys. They go to this island. Can't even remember why. And they find this scientist doing these experiments with a few other people, and it's explained that exactly what he's doing. He's making these killer shrews out of well, not rats, they're mice. So he explains that they become mutated and in no time at all, and we find that they're roaming the island. So they proceed to attack and kill the inhabitants, and they have to figure out how to safely get out of there. And there's really not much plot to this. It's just rather big nothing. So they figure out how to make some sort of tank out of these metal, what would you call them?
Oh, they're gas bins.
Right. So they tie them together, and they have to crouch walk out of there. So they managed to make it to the water, and luckily for them, the shrews aren't following them into the water. And so they make it to the boat and they get out of there.
Okay, Oogie Boogie scale.
Okay, I'm just commenting on the episode itself, not just the movie.
Okay.
It's not that funny. So, I mean, there have been better episodes on the show, such as The Brain That Wouldn't Die. Yeah, that has to be my all-time favorite episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000. So, a rating, I would have to give a 2.5 out of 5.
Okay.
Let's see, should I do my other one?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Hit us with your best shot.
Okay, I finally gotten around to watching Secret Santa. It's not what I expected. I expected a dark slapstick horror comedy. That's not what I got. It was more of a family drama with horror mixed in. So because of that, it rubbed me the wrong way. I guess it's also because of the subject matter. So, let's see, a rating. Yeah, it does what it does what it does, but I don't know why some people would find this funny because I didn't. So,
yeah, I didn't find it funny either. I didn't find it funny. I found it interesting, and I thought it clever in spots. But that's about it.
I'm giving it the same rating, 2.5.
Okay, so 2.5 on the Oogie Boogie scale. Okay. Any other ones?
No.
Okay, well, I've got a few here. I actually have 2 films that are about scare attractions. And I've got one that's horrid and one that's halfway decent. So I'll start with the one that's halfway decent. The problem is that this film, I was amazed to find, does not even appear on IMDb, so I couldn't get any information on it, which is a shame because it was a really good film. I really enjoyed it. But it's a film called American Fright Fest. And what it's about is it's about the main character in it. He's a horror director who's well known for his slasher films and stuff, but he's run on hard times. And the thing is that he ends up getting hired by this town that's having financial problems to open up a fright attraction out of this old insane asylum. Well, the thing is that the town's already set it up. They're just putting his name on it, and he's going to control the place from his control room, and he has his crew from his films and some of his actors, who can't find work, so they're going to go work in the fright attraction, playing characters from his films. Well, what ends up happening is that the director, he's drunk and he goes driving, and he ends up causing a wreck, and the wreck just happens to be a bus that was coming from a prison. And the thing is, it ends up two guys who were convicted of serial murders. They get loose, and they end up, they head to the asylum because one of them used to be a patient there. And the opening night of the Fright Fest, the one serial killer starts killing the people coming into the Fright Fest. He goes and he kills one of the players, takes his costume, and starts killing people. This other one comes in, and he was accused of killing, but he said that it was the other guy who did it, the guy that's out killing the ones in the Fright Fest, and he's trying to play hero. But anyway, so he's trying to save these ones from there. The other guy has blocked all of the exits with electrified bed things. And so people trying to run out of there because he's sitting there chainsawing people. They start running and they end up banging into these things and getting electrocuted. So anyways, the thing is that the horror director, he decides, because the entire place has got cameras, that he's going to record all this and make his epic slasher film with real murders. So, while he's safe, locked away in the control room. So anyway, there's these people trying to get out. He's, locked in there. And, you have the one serial killer who supposedly is not a serial killer. He got, and you've got the real serial killer killing people. Okay, so I'm going to give this one on the Oogie Boogie scale. I'm going to give this one a 3.5 because I really enjoyed it. They did really good with the budget that they had. The actors were really good. I really enjoyed it. The problem is that you have to find this film under free horror movies, if you can find it. I was on Comcast and found it by, using my controller and going for free horror films. It's called American Fright Fest. Check it out. I highly recommend it. Now, unfortunately, my next film that I'm reviewing is called Scariest Night of Your Life. And honestly, I can say, yeah, it was the scariest night of my life in regards to watching a horror film, because this film was torture. This was the worst piece of shit I have watched in a while. The story is about these people who it's Halloween night and they're going to be scared. And the one guy decides that instead of them going to the the regular fright house, he found out on the internet about this other fright house that's extreme, and so he takes his friends to that one. Okay, well, you've got the usual batch of people. You got the one girl who is really scared of everything. You got the black guy you've got the geeky guy, and you've got Mr. Ego Case, who had actually worked in a fright attraction at one time. Anyways, so they go to this place, and the guy who's running it tells them, you go ahead and you have fun. Just don't touch any of the performance. If you touch them, you're not coming out of here. But this will be the scariest night of your life. Yeah. Anyways, the movie is done in, like they're videotaping. So it's one of those, lost film things. So you're watching from someone's perspective going through it. The production value on this, honestly, it looks like somebody did it in their yard and kept refitting their garage for different scary rooms for the ones to walk through. There is a hell of a lot of scenes where these ones are just standing and talking amongst each other, and the dialogue doesn't really go anywhere. They have this one scene where this guy comes, they're in this room that has plastic wrap all over the place. It's a kill room. And the killer comes out. He's got this freaky mask on, and he's holding a chef's knife. And they start talking to him. And he's like, they're going, yeah, you really need to improve this kill room. Honestly there, and they start calling him Sam, the killer Sam, and he's going, my name isn't Sam. Go, oh, well, Sam. And anyway, they're sitting there talking to him. He's, he kind of reminded me of you, Mr. Highland. If you were you in this film? With his mask on and shit.
I wish.
Sitting there going, yeah, but I'm going to kill you. He's like, yeah, I'm going to kill you. And they go, oh, yeah, that's really scary there, Sam. My name's not Sam. I'm gonna splatter the wall, these walls with your blood.
So it's a comedy?
No.
Oh.
It's supposed to be taken seriously.
Oh, wow.
And they're sitting there they're talking this poor killer to death, and then they just walk out, and he's like sitting there like with this, looking stunned. And most of the shots of the attraction, you clearly know that they did this separately, and what it is they use special effects on these things. Had like this girl standing in this room, and special effects lightning, digital lightning going and stuff, and that, and the girl moving around. And you know that the ones are not really there, and they're just talking. And they're like, oh my God, look at this. Isn't she scary, and that, and all this, and it's and they don't match up with the scenes where they're walking through this place. Then they bring in this clown. He was actually fairly well done. I liked him. Because the thing is, he had this rubber mask, and the thing is, the one guy gets pissed off and pushes him down. And the guy takes off his mask, and he's got makeup on, and he looks really, really good clown makeup work. And the guy tried, he was like the best actor of the entire bunch, which isn't saying much. And he's sitting there going, you're going to be sorry about this. You shouldn't have touched me. You were warned and all this. And he gets up and he walks away, and they go, oh, yeah, you just sit there and kill us then. And anyway, so after that, all this stuff starts happening, and they get dragged in and become part of the attraction. The girls get stuck with this guy who is making human dolls. And so he takes out their eyes and puts in doll eyes on them. very bad makeup effects. I mean, seriously, the makeup effects in this film looked like they were done by Dollar Tree or something. Really, really bad. And let me see. Mr. Highland, have we decided if we're allowed to do negative
Ratings?
ratings?
Yes, I've done them myself.
Okay. For Scariest Night of Your Life, the poster on this thing's nice because it's got the clown in there. But the movie is complete and utter shit, so I give it a -10 because I don't want to ever see this film again. I just can't stand it. Okay. Next film that I have is a fairly new release. And it stars one of Mr. Highland's favorite actors, Ulrich Chow.
Who?
Ulrich Chow.
You'll have to remind me who that is.
Asian guy. He was on Supernatural. He was one of the most annoying characters in Supernatural.
I haven't seen that show yet.
Oh, okay. He was also in The Guild.
No,
In several
haven't seen
episodes of The
I haven't
Guild.
seen that.
Okay, well, anyways, you don't know anything about him anyway. Okay, so anyways, Superhost is about Auric and his girlfriend, and they are internet travel vloggers, Hetty and Claire, and they do a travel vlog called Superhost, and they go and they spend a weekend in a house, and they do a review on it after they're done. And most of the time, they have really bad reviews. Well, anyways, the thing is that it's like a lot of vloggers nowadays, their follower counts are dwindling, and they decide to create viral content around their most recent superhost, Rebecca, who is just this weird fucking crazy woman. And it turns out, yeah, she is crazy. Because the fact is that she doesn't really own the house. She killed the people who owned the house and killed their cat and stuck him out in the woods. And she went on and Craiglisted, having people come to the house so that she could kill them and rob them. And so, anyway, so they come in there. She's overly nice, and then they find out that she's sleeping in the basement and has a computer down there and everything. And so the thing is, what ends up happening is they're dealing with Psycho Host and trying to stay alive. I have to say this was good. Ulrich was his usual annoying self. I can't stand the guy, even though he's best friends with Felicia Day. I just can't. Ugh, God. I don't know why. I think it's because of uh him on Supernatural. He just drove me nuts. He was annoying. He was a whiny little bitch on that show, and I just couldn't stand him. Um, but anyways, yeah. So, the girl playing the psycho person that own well homeowner, which was not a homeowner. She did a really good job. I really thought that she did good playing Psycho, and that there was times when you actually saw her, she'd go from this overly happy, smiley person, and she'd turn away from them, and her true face would come through and stuff, and it was like, oh God. But anyways, yeah, production wise, they had ready set with this house that they got. They didn't have to do there wasn't any studio work at all. So it was very easy film to to film. And so not bad use of production work and that. You know, the director worked really good on it. So for Superhost, I'm gonna give it a 3.5. So that one's good. Now to my final review. And Mr. Highland is gonna say, "Oh no, you can't review that because it's not horror. It's got monsters in it." So there. My final one is a animation one. It's the animated prequel to the Witcher series. It's called The Witcher: Nightmare of the Wolf. And it's it's years before, and the story centers on the mentor of the guy, the main character from the Witcher series, Galen, or I mean Geralt. Geralt, yeah, his mentor Vesemir. He's a young swashbuckling witcher in this, and he escapes a life of poverty to slay monsters for a price. Unfortunately, in the time that he's living, witchers are hated by people, and these ones are thinking that the witchers are actually creating the monsters that are killing people and stuff, that they're, and this story goes heavily into the politics of the time, the religious situation. You have this one lady who is against the witchers, wants to destroy them, and that to purge this world of witchers. And so Vesemir and his mentor are ending up fighting this, and Vesemir also is running into the girl that he fell in love with, but the thing is that now she's an old woman because his lifespan has been changed. So while he's been out fighting monsters, she's grown old. And she's the girl that is going against him and the other Witchers is in fact her daughter. So it's really good. It was done by Netflix, and you know how lately Netflix has been getting hit hard because of Kevin Smith and the He-Man thing. Well, I can honestly say that this Witcher one is incredibly written. The anime is spot on. It's beautifully done. The character voices and everything is just wonderful. And it is a fantastic piece. I'm going to put on the Oogie Boogie scale. I'm giving this a 4.5, Mr. Highland, and I highly recommend if you get a chance to check it out. You will not be disappointed because I know you like fantasy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, anyways, what do you think, Mr. Highland? How would you rate on the Oogie Boogie scale the show tonight?
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. I think I wasn't sure how our guest was going to be, but he was very he was very good. He was. I'd love to have him on the show again and have him talk, one of our panel discussions or that.
Yeah. Yes.
Because he knows his business. He's got a wonderful wit in regard to his job and that, and very, very nice indeed. I was very pleased with it. Alrighty, so any last words, or you know you wanna tell the fans what we got in store for them next month?
Yes, I'd like to thank our listeners and tune in next time for our season finale, where I will be not only reading to you my analysis of the first two Poltergeist films, but we will be discussing the 1955 film Diabolique, Psycho 2, and Exorcist 3, because all these films I have mentioned have one thing in common that ties them together, which is mystery.
Yes, indeed.
So
I'll add a few Jallos as well, because a few of those are very good with the mysteries too.
So do your homework, because you can be sure that I will.
Well, you know me, Mr. Highland. I'm the lazy one. I'll come in with my thing and my bunny slippers, and we'll still do a kick-ass show. Alrighty, so be ready for that. We're going to have an entire panel of some wonderful people from the horror community.
Yes.
And it's going to be an interesting show, interesting subject matter in that. So
yes, ever since I wrote this analysis, I've been looking forward to showcasing this on a show and discussing it.
yeah, I know you've been talking to me about this for a while now. It's just like that other one last year. Oh my God. Except this year you weren't driving me nuts with it. Alrighty, so anyways, as always, keep America strong, watch horror films, and we will catch you next month for our season finale. So catch you later.
The love that you bring me along. The pain that you gives me a home. Do you wanna stay by my side? Do you want me to turn and hide? We are disappearing inside, seeing pictures of our goodbyes. But we believe that our love will survive the pain that you brings me all alone. Do you love me? Do you hate me? Do you wanna believe me? Do you think that you don't need me? Do you wanna deceive me? I can't think that it's all over. Don't wanna forget. I can't live this disappointment down. I wanna repress your goodbye, goodbye. The design, we brought them all. The dreams when you see that goodbyes aren't for long. Please follow me to the borders of destiny. I don't wanna break from your side. The falling ground screams goodbye. Do you love me? Do you hate me? Do you wanna believe me? Do you think that you don't need me? Do you wanna deceive me? I can't think that it's all over. Don't wanna forget. I can't live this disappointment down. I wanna repress your goodbye, goodbye. The design, we broke them all. The dreams when you see that goodbyes aren't for long. Please follow me to the borders of destiny. I don't wanna break from your side. The falling ground screams goodbye. Please follow me to the borders of destiny. I don't wanna break from your side. The falling ground screams goodbye, goodbye. The design, we broke the mold. The dreams when you see that goodbye soon for long.
International.